Hello, this is Stephen Childs. I defeat evil. I was told that I can in the early 90s, and I think it was late 80s, that I had a dream. And I woke up and I was in a panic, almost. Tragically sad feeling. And the knowledge was given to me that it's too late. And I knew it was about the Earth's climate and the environment, the ecosystem. And I was informed that it's too late. And now, the ones that are evil, they're using that. They've weaponized it's too late. And they use it against me to discourage me. They're evil. They claim there's no human global warming. They claimed the inconvenient truth of Al Gore's documentary was lies. It wasn't. It was right on. It was exact. As close as you could come with estimation. And the people that said that it's a lie, they're evil. 10 years ago, I started hearing that we were headed toward fascism, corporate fascism. And that Trump is a similar character as Hitler. I didn't want to believe it at first, but then the evidence just kept piling on. So I learned more about how Hitler came into power. I'd already read Alice Miller's material. She wrote Drama of the Gifted Child, and also the one that I connected with was For Your Own Good, Hidden Cruelty in Child Rearing and the Roots of Violence. We have books on authoritarianism, authoritarian family structure, dysfunctional family structure. And I learned all this back then in the 80s and in the 90s and in 2000 and 2010. And now I'm learning more about it in 2020. They're evil. MAGA is evil. It's selfish greed. I'm not going to pull the punches. They will be known as evil. If humanity survives and we're not extinct because of MAGA, I'm blaming it all on MAGA right now, but it's the whole scenario of truth denying. They deny truth. The religions are in on it. They're denying truth too. They have, since we learned that the world was round and it orbited the sun. And they killed Bruno. They burned Bruno at the stake, a scientist, philosopher. He said there's other life in the stars. I think they told him, like they're telling me things. They put Galileo in house arrest. He could not publish books. He could not be around the people because he was telling people that he saw with the telescope that the sun is in the center and the earth orbits the sun. The Bible says the earth is center and there's a dome across the sky, the firmament that holds the stars up. Deniers of truth are evil. Evil comes from them everywhere they go. The Inquisition, the Crusades. Then, because of truth denial, the Quran was written with more truth denial. This is the recipe for the extinction of humanity. If we enact the World Fairness Agreement tomorrow, or yesterday, we should have done it yesterday, as soon as possible, humans will not become extinct. We won't die. The people are being lied to. They're confused. When someone deceives you, and then you start to see the truth, or someone tells you the truth, and you start to wonder if maybe what they're telling you is true, you become very confused. The only way to not be confused is to not believe anything or to accept what is true as close as we can tell. And then it's not a rigid belief. It's just what we think is the way it is right now. See, religions can't tolerate that. They can't tolerate open-minded thinking. They can't tolerate the saying that we might be wrong about this. Have you ever heard a religion that says we know the God and what God wants, and they say we might be wrong about this? They don't say it. They should. I say it. I don't want to be known as evil. So I'm working on not doing people wrong anymore, because I realize that's what's causing the problem. It's what's causing all the hatred. That's what the evil is, when you do someone wrong. So I've been in a spiritual war since I realized that I didn't believe what they were telling me about God when I was young. I remember, like 3 years old, I was wishing I could run away from home. And I remember, I don't care anymore. I remember thinking that. And it disturbed me that I didn't care, but I admitted it. I don't care anymore. So, since I've adopted this new strategy of being a devotee of God, I don't think God had any mind in the first place. No brain, no mind, no intelligence at all. So I'm using the scientific evidence we have in my God concept. So then, one day from randomness, the Earth had condensed into a planet from gravity, and it had cooled down. The ice came from asteroids, the water. And the water came in and on to the hot, molten Earth, asteroids of ice, lots of them. And it was part of the process of cooling it down. So I was in a sweat lodge one day, and I realized we were reenacting it. We're in this dome that's like a dome above ground, but you imagine it's a complete dome, and you're in the center. And the rocks come in, and when they make the thing go dark by closing it, sealing it off completely, they're glowing red. The rocks are glowing. And then they bring in the water from outside and pour the water on the rocks. Psh, psh, psh. And then it's just like this intensely hot fog. Your shirt, your shorts you're wearing, completely soaked and saturated within 4 or 5 minutes. And most of the water's coming from the outside, and you're sweating out water All the salt you have in you, that you have too much salt, you sweat out all the salt. And you have to learn how to not breathe very fast. It's like the fastest way to a deep meditation that I've ever came across. You have to meditate deeply with no motion of your body and just shallow, small breaths. Otherwise, you're getting too much energy being used. So you learn how to tolerate that much heat. And the white people killed some people in Arizona. Tragedy happened. So it's important to know to not let it get too hot. And you don't want to have the lodge too crowded. So if people need to lay flat on the ground, they can. And if somebody really needs to get out, open the door and let them out. So, this macho, we're tough, we can go through. No, people died from that. So after that happened, our lodges became less severe. But we want it hot. It's when your heart starts, your pulse increases. It's like you can't get rid of the heat. So your heart rate increases. So you're on the borderline of getting too hot at that point. You don't want to tolerate that for very many minutes if your pulse is increasing. So this is from my own experience. And I was breathing hard and I couldn't stand to get through the lodge. And my sister said, "It sounds like you're hyperventilating," because I started to get dizzy and stuff. And that's what it was. I was thinking I needed more air. No, I didn't need more air. I was hyperventilating. So I just hold my breath for 20 seconds. And then just breathe as needed, just a little. And that way I was able to go into a deeper meditation and just like completely stop all your mental processes. Your mind creates most of your body heat. And so it's a very spiritual practice. I didn't intend on getting into this, but I wanted to talk about the damage we're doing. And the native people, the original Americans, they want to keep the water good and the land good. And my heart's broke. I knew back in the late 80s that it was too late for the earth. There's going to be a lot of gnashing of teeth going on. And people are realizing that it's the truth that they need. The truth is the way. And this evil of denial of truth will be over. Hopefully, it won't be the end of the human species. If we survive, they'll look back at Rush Limbaugh and they will define him as an evil man. He was an evil man. He lied. Glenn Beck is an evil man. He lies. He lies for the Bible. He lies for Christ. That's the worst blasphemy of any. He says he's supporting truth, and he's an enemy to truth. He's a racist. They want to be in power so they can do whatever they want with the non-white people. That's what Trump's going to do. Share this with the Mexican people and the people from all over the planet that are not from Europe. The Native American people. Share this with all the governments that we need to enact the World Fairness Agreement. or will be known as being evil. Stupid and evil. Well, evil is defined as ignorance sometimes. But when you was honestly deceived, and then you accept that you had been deceived and you seek to know the truth, you're not evil. You were done wrong. You were lied to. You were deceived. Now, it's not anybody's fault if you didn't know you were deceived. Like when I was young, they told me about the religion I was born into. I didn't know I was deceived until I started looking into the facts. That's traumatic. When you're the only one in the family that can speak the truth about these matters, and you're forced into silence. They want us silenced. They want me to shut up. They're evil. My name's Stephen Childs. This is the Church of Fairness, the first religion based on scientific evidence and mythological religious stories that tell us about who we are. We connect to a deep truth through stories about the Knights of the Round Table, or Ulysses, or Christ on the crucifix. That's us. That's us on the cross. So, we were betrayed by Judas. It's a story. So Judas is appearing today. Since I made the last video where I've shifted gears and I don't fight back at all. I just ask for God's help. And we're within God. God is everything, and we're within it. Everything's within God. And life evolved, like Darwin told us. And scientists can't figure out the Big Bang yet. It's a little trickier than they thought. This is interesting. They're bewildered. The most common force is not even a force. The most common thing we experience that lets us know there's more going on than meets the eye is gravity. Gravity is so ordinary, and that's what they can't figure out. How interesting. So anyway, there's hope. And when you get on the right path, the grace you feel from God is incredible. It's unbelievably powerful. The love that is here for us, that we're within the same God that the other life forms are in, that live in the stars, from the stars. Just like Bruno said. They care about us. When people talk about love for God, they're connected to them. They're real beings. They didn't create the place. But they're part of the light of consciousness that illuminates all of God. There's no place in God that's not illuminated by consciousness, the light of consciousness. It's our self that is God's self. It is your very self that is God's very self. And vice versa. It is God's self, the oneness of everything, that is your self. There's not division. There's unity. There's divine unity. There's God's justice. So, now that I'm asking God to fight the battle against people that are doing me wrong, I'm not going to be making posts about that battle. I might make some jokes about Judas making a fool of himself again today, trying to tell me that I've lost. It's a lie. I haven't lost. They keep telling me I need to give up. No, they need to give up and accept that we need the World Fairness Agreement as soon as possible. Join us. We're Team Fairness if you're atheist, anti-religion, and we're also the Church of Fairness. It's a new religion based on scientific evidence. Thank you.